Hmm. And it was during that period they started performing on Apollo and Soul Train and going to Apollo doing the right stuff. They did their thing.
Oh yeah, we got with Hal Jackson, who does the Talented Teens in New York, and Hal always he had a radio show. We did his radio show on WBLS, which he still has it today. And so after we did Hal's show, he wanted us to, he booked us in the Apollo Theater. He said, I think you all will do well there. So we took the kids over there, and they brought the house down. And they were just going, go white boys, go white boys. And it was definitely a good thing.
Mm. Yeah, and by the time they went on tour to become the open act with Tiffany, Please Don't Go Girl went to the top 10.
Definitely. It was a top 10 song, and that was the beginning of that was our lift-off into the number one position. That one hit top 10, and I think the next 3 or 4 went number one.
Mm.
I think, let me see, who was the second one? The right stuff, I think it was 3. Then I'll Be Loving You Forever went to number one. Then we started having the number ones. 10, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now explain to me, I read this on the website that I'll Be Loving You Forever was intended for Smokey Robinson.
I was going to definitely ask Smokey to do that. I ended up producing Smokey Robinson as well.
Okay.
But I never mentioned that to him.
Okay. Right. And okay, Hangin' Tough blew up and
okay, one more, hold that thought. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Hangin' Tough was blowing up, and then 1990 hits, Step by Step. Now, what was your thing when, like, okay, Hangin' Tough is here, then we're going to the studio to make Step by Step?
Okay, mention that one more time.
Okay, what was your feeling when, okay, coming off of Hangin' Tough, it's a success, it's a phenomenon, and then they're going to the studio to record Step by Step?
I think going to the studio to record Step by Step was one where we were really eager because of the success coming off of the Hangin' Tough album. We wanted to just really knock it out again and do a great job, and that's what we did, Step by Step. I believe that if it didn't debut number one, it just stayed there once it got there.
Mm.
So that was, we were still hungry. And when you're hungry, you make things happen.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and I believe Danny and Jordan Donnie they had some associate production credits on Hangin' Tough and Step by Step, because you can see the progression from the first album to Hangin' Tough to Step by Step. Now you can correct me on this. I heard that Step by Step was recorded by another group from Boston. Then New Kids heard it and then made it theirs.
Well, no, I picked all the music. But another group from, you're right about one thing. The beginning of what you said is 100% right. Another group did it called the Superiors. The Superiors did Step by Step. I signed them to Motown Records. So they did do it first, and then, of course, I always knew it was a hit, so I said, let me take this to New Kids. And I said, hey, guys, I want to record this record on you. They said, okay. And it became a number one record for them.
Right, and it became a smash. Now, tell me about the group Perfect Gentleman, which your son was in.
Perfect Gentleman, I always wanted a hit record with my kids. So I asked my son, did he want to be in a group? He said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to call you Perfect Gentleman. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to write this song called Ooh La La. So they did it. It came, I prayed it up to the top. I said, Lord, just take that thing top 10. And it went top 10 in a lot of areas, number one. And that was on the pop charts, and I was very happy of that.
And then they came out with the single One More Chance. And listening to that single, it's definitely good R&B pop. And you had this other kid named Rick West, correct?
That's correct.
All right, tell me a little bit about Rick West.
Rick was a guy who had a look like Elvis, and my goal was to make him a 17-year-old Elvis. I kind of fell short on that one, but I sure gave it the old college try.
Hey, nothing beats a failure but a try.
There you go.
Yeah, now, how did you come up with the nickname The General?
General, my brother Calvin, was like, hey, Elvis had the Colonel, and I said, well, Calvin, what's the next one highest? I don't want to be a Colonel. He said, that would be a General. He said, a General is high as you can get. I said, well, that's what I need to be. And he said, yeah, you are the general. So my brother Calvin gave me that name.
So it was at that period, Step by Step was blowing up, and then like I've seen old clippings of TV shows where you were walking around with a general suit on.
That's correct.
You know, you were playing the part to the T.
Oh yeah. You and I'll be back. General will be back again. But when I put out my new act called the Heartbeat Boys. So yeah, the general. I had to play the part.
Right. Now, did you think like the guys was sort of like, you know what I mean, okay, you can kind of tone it down with the general suit a bit?
Well, they say that. I know John says something like that. I saw it on TV. Well, you know, that's like telling Don King, hey, that's like Mike Tyson saying, Don, can you cut your hair down? I mean, what it is what it is. I was the general. I was the man getting the job done. You know, basically he was the guy carrying water to people before I met him. And so that he became a multi-millionaire, a big-time real estate kingpin today. You know, it came from the millions that I was able to help him make and put that glass down and you know, the waitress apron down. I mean, waiter, excuse me. And so if he didn't like that, that doesn't bother me. I was the general and loving every second of it.
Right, and it was around 92 they did the No More Games remix album. Then around 93 they went and started recording Face the Music, and this was the first project where you weren't really involved with that record.
Well, yeah, all the records I did with him, I don't think anything I did with him sold less than 6 million. Every song I did with him was a hit. Every album I did was a platinum album, not gold, but platinum many times. It's gold. Platinum is twice as big as gold. So I didn't have one gold record with New Kids on the Block. All the songs I wrote for him were hits. All the shows I did for him were hits. Everything I did for him hit. You know, actually it broke records. They hold all the promotions broke all the records. All the merchandise broke all the records. So as long as they were with me, they were breaking records every day. The day that they left and they did the song Face the Music, album did not sell at all. They never had another hit.
Right, because you definitely had the Midas touch, because it was around that period. I mean, you couldn't go nowhere without anything New Kids, dolls, papers, buttons, just anything and everything New Kids.
Yeah, so they never had another hit without me.
Now, okay, I want to go into, let's talk about Five Young Men.
Five Young Men was a inspiration for me. Five Young Men was something that I did that was personal to me. It was that was very personal.
Okay, yeah, Five Young Men, definitely a good group. They came out with the single One More Chance, and I remember them performing that on All That and seeing them perform on Bobby Jones Gospel several times. Actually, my cousin on my mama's side, her cousin on her dad's side was actually a member of the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so kind of like 3 or 6 degrees of separation. Now, what was your take on Luke Perlman when he basically took a page out of your playbook and created Backstreet Boys and NSYNC after leasing a jet to New Kids, Transcon, which was his company, and then he said, okay, let me go ahead and do this, and he went and created Backstreet Boys and later NSYNC.
Well, I anybody who can make it in this business, I take my hat off to them because it's not easy. It's not easy. So if you can, he spent $5-10 million. I spent $100,000 with New Kids. He had to go to Germany, spend $10 million between the two groups. I stayed in America and spent $100,000. So not everybody can break a group here in America. There's been no boy band. Only one, and they probably did 1% of what we did, and that was O-Town, I believe, who was broke in America. But other than O-Town, everybody else was broken, like Europe and Switzerland or somewhere.
Yeah,
you know, because not everybody know how to break a group in America. So, but I've been breaking groups in America for the last 20, 30 years.